What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the chat. I am Kneeckoh with Enter the Chat Gaming, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a little game called Psychonauts, which is getting a sequel very soon, and why this sequel needs to be on your radar. This game is freaking awesome. We're going to talk about all of it today, but first, make sure you are subbed to the channel for more gaming stuff from me, Rico, and Toby in the future. Here we go. So, admittedly, Psychonauts is a game that I had no idea even existed. I've not had an Xbox until this generation of Xboxes. So my first Xbox was my Xbox Series S, and now I have an Xbox Series X. And so as a result, I just had never heard or played Psychonauts before. But I keep seeing things, you know, between both E3 and then listening to things like, you know, the Kind of Funny Xcast. I've heard a lot about Psychonauts, and a lot of hype has been surrounding the new Psychonauts game now that it is finally coming out, because the original game came out in 2005, and now we're finally getting the sequel here in 2021, and that's just crazy. That's a huge gap in between these games, so it's really exciting to see these games come back. So as a result of getting an Xbox and now having access to Game Pass, I decided I'd check out Psychonauts, and boy am I glad I did. Good lord, is this game full of charm. I love it. So basically it takes place in this world where psychics are, you know, well known by the community, and there are these higher elite group of psychics called the Psychonauts that'll take on, you know, bigger missions and things of that nature, and you play as Rasputin at the summer camp for psychics, and you are trying to become a Psychonaut as quickly as possible. And it's just a really fun, charming story, and you're kind of pulling apart this mystery that's taking place at the summer camp and gaining new powers and psychic abilities along the way. And it is just a super fun, goofy 3D platformer that I had no idea existed, and I'm so upset that I didn't get to experience this before now. But now that I am playing it over here on the Xbox Series X, I am over the moon at this game, especially when you consider the fact, you know, that Xbox does all like the up-resing and things of that nature. Like, this 2005 game looks extremely good on my Xbox Series X. Now, I will say that the new game looks 1,000 times better, obviously, as it would, being a game that is as separated from the original. It looks like it's going to be a bigger, more grand version of what the original game was, but I definitely recommend you hop in and check out the original game. I will admit that, you know, some of the controls seem a little clunky here and there, and that's just because this is a game that is as old as it is. Old games are old. There's no way around that. This game still plays very well despite that fact. It is old, it does feel old in certain circumstances, but for the most part it's still a very enjoyable experience with awesome voice acting and goofy characters. I really like the original, and I definitely think that this is something that you should check out, because the new one is coming out day and date on Game Pass in August. I believe it's August 25th, maybe 27th. It's one of those 20th dates. That's when this new one's coming. And I will say, I was already minorly excited for Psychonauts when I heard that a new one was coming out, and I had an Xbox, was actually going to be able to play it. But now that I've gone back and played the original game, I'm even more excited. And it's not like the original game really takes that long for you to hop in and enjoy. To beat the actual story of the original game, I think it's only like 4 hours or so. What adds on the extra time is going in and getting all the collectibles and all the side objectives and things like that, where you could, if you just want to hop in, play Psychonauts for the story, get what you need out of it in terms of like the lore and stuff and the characters, and then immediately hop into Psychonauts 2, it's not that huge a time commitment. You could knock it out in a day or a weekend, whatever it may be. It's not a huge time sink. You can just hop in and do it, and then you're ready for Psychonauts 2, which is pretty much what I did. I was not all that invested in finding all the collectibles and things of that nature, because it is an original Xbox game. It didn't have achievements or anything that was worth me going out of my way to find all those collectibles. If it had achievements, it might have been a separate story, but luckily it didn't. So I got in, got what I wanted out of Psychonauts, and now I'm ready and just excited for next month when this new sequel comes out. Now, another reason I think Psychonauts is going to be something you really should keep your eye out for is it's something with Xbox as a whole. Xbox is well known for its big exclusives, you know, like Forza, like Halo, like Gears, stuff like that. But there isn't really anything on the current systems of Xbox that really is like centered at kids. Like, if you look at PlayStation, you know, Ratchet and Clank is for everybody. Anybody could pick that up and enjoy it. There's like the Sackboy's Big Adventure, you know, things like that that are definitely centered at a younger audience. And Xbox just really doesn't have that. Whereas now that they're bringing Psychonauts back, this hits that audience very hard. This is that goofy, cartoony 3D platformer that kids eat up. And it's good for all ages. It's not just a kid thing. There are definitely some adult humor jokes and things of that nature in these games, but it's definitely something that will hit a younger audience harder than something like Gears of War would, obviously. So it's something that Xbox has been seriously lacking, especially over the last couple generations and going into this generation, but it seems to be something that they're really turning around, especially when you think about them bringing back Psychonauts, which is awesome as well because it is made by Double Fine Productions, and Xbox did acquire that studio. So now that these games are on Game Pass and Xbox owns a studio, it's not something that's like, oh, we need to make sure this game hits or we'll never be able to make another one. It's that Xbox can go, here's the money, make this project, make it exactly how you want, Tim Schafer, and we will have a banger on our hands. And that's what excites me the most, is that there wasn't anything going into this that was like, we have to make X amount of sales. It was, Xbox gave us the money to do this. We can make the game exactly how we want it. That is what we are going to deliver to the people. So that just super excites me, and I highly recommend checking out Psychonauts over on Xbox Game Pass. Now, it's worth mentioning for all those that may not have an Xbox at their disposal that may want to hop into Psychonauts, it is available on the cloud streaming beta. It is available online for you to stream to your phone, your Android tablet, your iOS devices, your PC, whatever it may be. Psychonauts is available on the cloud streaming service. But it is also available on the Xbox PC app for Windows 10. So you are able to play this on your PC as well if you still, don't have an Xbox. If only you subscribe to Game Pass through PC, you are able to hop into Psychonauts, and Psychonauts 2 is going to be available on the service as well, which is super awesome. But that pretty much sums up everything that I really wanted to talk about and just kind of explain why you should be excited for Psychonauts 2, why this is such a huge deal for Xbox specifically. It's super awesome. I'm so over the moon excited. And like I said, I definitely recommend checking this game out. Or if you hop into the second one, I highly recommend going back to the first one and experiencing what that has to offer. But like I said, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you for entering the chat with me. Make sure you check out all of our social medias and stuff like that. Check me out over on my main channel, Kneeckoh Gaming, and I will see you all in future videos. Peace.